Moving back to paradise, conquering our human roadblocks. Love will find a way. When unhappiness and frustration, as a result of living in a world ruled by Satan, take their toll on us, and if we have been stubbornly good human beings, not prone to being forever lost in this darkness, we will receive from our beloved and compassionate Holy Spirit a spiritual awakening within our hearts with an intense and inexhaustible aim to return to our lost paradise. When unhappiness and frustration as a result makes us do that, we will walk through it effectively through paradise, and we will enter through these doors that we need to bypass. And we need to bypass, in order to do that, stumbling roadblocks that we will encounter in our journey and that constitute the main characteristics of our fallen nature that we need to leave behind. The earthly tent. Our human condition enclosed in a fallen nature is our first blockade. After their fall and separation from their Creator, Adam and Eve found themselves naked because of their sin, and God covered them with garments of skin. Genesis 3:21. As long as we are in a physical body, we are in a perishable and decaying state. Through the Spirit, believers are called to walk, mortifying the needs of the body and the deeds of the body, and resisting the pulls of our corrupt human nature by submitting to God and resisting the devil. Believers are called to present their bodies as living sacrifices, underscoring that current physical life serves as a pilgrimage with the hope of a permanently heavenly home, replacing the transient earthly tent. The Berean 2026. Our low spiritual vibrational frequency is our second roadblock because we need to enter through the portal of paradise. There exists a peculiar door, a spiritual portal that can lead us out of this fallen world and back to the Garden of Eden and the Tree of Life. The new Adam, Jesus, was able to open it for all humanity, and this portal is only suited for those individuals that are willing to surrender to the divine by letting go of their egos. Somebody unprepared and with a dirty garment cannot go through the portal that leads to the Tree of Life. The only chance we have is through prayer to maintain a good frequency tuning vibration for a reasonable frame of time, and in this way to attune and acquire a permanent good vibration. Davalos 2019. If we stay in prayer, we keep the frequency line open and the spiritual vibrations will continue. Closerwalk.net 2012. Serpents on the trail. The serpents on the trail are our third roadblock. Our world is full of metaphorical serpents and snakes that invite us all to sin through unbelief in the existence of our divine heritage, atheism, fear, greed, sensuality, absurd gender ideologies, pride, and disobedience to the will of God for our lives. All these dark values are promoted daily in all our societies by politicians, institutions, and corporations whose leaders are soulless psychopaths, devoid of empathy or compassion for humanity, who spread the lies of their faith of their father Satan. In this spiritual adventure, we must avoid the serpents that will try to bite our feet. If they succeed in biting us, we will have to retrace our steps and start again. If we do not wish to be bitten by these serpents, we must immediately crush their heads with the feet of our prayer, for the poison that infects our minds resides in their heads. Davos 2023. Traveling with light on the path to paradise. Intemperance, sin, and intellectual darkness are our fourth roadblock. As St. Thomas of Aquin teaches so well in the Summa Theologica, the sins of intemperance, and more specifically the incontinence of lust, play a particularly powerful role in the darkening of the intellect. We see that intemperance is severe and significant in our times, and this reflection underlines it as the main cause of the intellectual darkness of our time. Davos 2020. Spiritual clarity is only achieved through sanctifying grace. Sanctifying grace is a property of the Holy Spirit, its gift, and it's basically the life of God within our soul. Richard 2018, Learned Religions. Hearing the voice of our shepherd as we approach the doors. Our spiritual deafness is our last roadblock in the path of return to paradise. Finally, and as we approach the doors of paradise, many deceiving voices uttered by Satan will try to deviate our path onto the doors of perdition under his domain. And we need to be able to hear our good shepherd, Jesus, who has opened for us the doors of paradise and waits for us by calling us by our own name, because we're his sheep. The Spirit of God can be grieved and quenched in the lives of disobedient believers. However, it is possible to hear the voice of the Spirit when believers humble themselves and are truly silent in their lives so that God can speak through them. TabernaculoPrensaDeDios.com. If we have been humble and obedient to the will of God, our spiritual journey to the doors of paradise will end with good fortune. Our loving shepherd Jesus will welcome each one of us inside paradise and into the company of his Father in heaven.